Oppo Reno 2, Reno 2, Oppo Reno 2, Reno 2, you Oppo Reno 2,
Hey, what's up guys, Mowgli here and welcome to yet another episode of TechBox. Now please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit the notification icon so you don't miss out when we upload new cool episodes. Let's start by having a look at what you get inside the Oppo Reno 2 box. The device itself, a leather case, headphones, a 20-watt fast charge adapter and a USB-C cable. It is worth noting that Oppo makes most mid-range phones and these are popular for their quality cameras. And the Oppo Reno 2 puts this on a whole new level with a 48 megapixel quad camera, a 5x hybrid zoom and of course 8GB RAM and 256GB storage. The device comes with the Gorilla Glass 6 panel at the front and an ocean blue finish at the back with the Oppo brand and cameras. The two available colors are the ocean blue and the luminous black, and both of these have a flashy glossy finish. My thoughts on this: I'm not really a fan of dull colors and I'd prefer more of a red Reno 2 or matte black or even a variant of white.
We don't do that here.
But you know what? They didn't make that and now we have to go with what they provide. I'd also prefer more of a seamless, minimal panel, but they just had to cluster all these cameras and the Oppo branding at the back frame, which anyway is good to maintain your standard design. The SIM slot comes on the right side of the device and a power button is just below this. The volume rocker on the left side, which I kinda like. Having one set of buttons on the left and the other set on the right side of the phone makes it feel ergonomic. The headphone jack is maintained at the bottom, a USB-C and a speaker grill as well. Speaking of which, you get a quad camera setup at the back, a 48 megapixel sensor, an 8 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, a 13 megapixel telephoto sensor and a 2 megapixel black and white sensor. All of these are protected by this ball, so when you place your phone on a flat surface you don't get to crush your cameras, but putting a case on it would be preferred even though the back is a Gorilla Glass 5. And speaking of the leather case, it comes with raised edges to keep the screen safe from surfaces. So again, you don't get to scratch the screen and I like to keep it on at all times. Finally, a pop-up camera at the top which retracts under the following circumstances: when you turn on the selfie camera, when you have your face unlocked and when a fall is detected. And it makes this sound when it lifts. Because of all these mechanisms of lifting up the camera, there are vulnerabilities of exposing interior components and therefore you don't have an IP rating for dust or water resistance. So don't risk immersing your phone in water, because obviously it will be chaos. At 6.5 inches the device weighs 192 grams and this is not perfect for handedness because it is just too big to me and I find myself struggling to reach the icons at the top, but at least we have these gesture features that makes it easier to execute tasks. We have an in-display fingerprint at the bottom here which shines a light on your finger then unlocks, though this is not that instant and the phone unlocks after a couple of seconds, but I got used to it. Speaking of which, it's an immersive Amoled display at 1080 by 2400 resolution and thanks to the pop-up camera, there's no notch at all, so there are no distractions when watching content. I like AMOLED displays because of their contrast colors, like blacks are really blacks and so are whites, and they take the watching game to a whole new level. But despite this, the AMOLED display quality in this phone is not at its best. The bezel-less display makes both gameplay and watching remarkable and does not drain much battery. Speaking of which, GameSpace optimizes gaming and blocks calls and I did not experience any lags even on high graphics settings, thanks to the new Snapdragon 730G processor and a 4000 mAh battery. The device comes with an Android version 9 with a ColorOS 6.1 skin. This has one of the most beautiful notification panels. The icons have these rounded rectangle shapes over a gradient fill background and it has always impressed me. You can also decide to have your apps on the standard mode where they are only seen across the home screen, or in drawer mode where they can be in an actual app drawer. You also get more customizability features such as tweaking the screen quality to whatever you may like, but I like keeping it on default and leaving the screen color mode on vivid. Lastly, the cameras. Video, photo and portrait modes are kept simple at the camera UI and one can switch from 1x up to 20x zoom at the back camera, and it can shoot 4K at 30fps and at a lowest resolution of 720p. You still get more options like night, panorama, expert, which is the pro mode, and much more options. Oppo Reno 2 is sure a great phone and it fits perfectly in the mid-range smartphones. The unique feature of this phone is the pop-up camera, and if this excites you, you should try checking it out. Well, that's been it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching this review. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification icon so you don't miss any of my new episodes, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.